What's going on, football fans? This time once again for another rendition of the Pound for Pound. I'm your host, J.R. Clark, and today we're going to be previewing the game coming up this Sunday at 8:30 in a primetime game. First game this year at the Mercedes Benz Stadium, aka the Benz. This week we'll be facing off against the Greenbay Packers. This will be the third time in a calendar year, so third time in 12 months that we have faced off against this team. We've beat them both the past two times that we faced them. Once in the regular season by 1 point, it was 33-32 or something like that. And once again in the NFC Championship game that sent us to the Super Bowl. That was a little bit more lopsided in our favor. So let's just jump into it and kind of preview what I think is going to transpire this week. This is going to be a tough test. This is going to be a tough game to open up our brand new shiny stadium with. You got Aaron Rodgers coming in, and he's got more weapons and healthier weapons than he did the last few times that we faced him. You got Jordy Nelson, who's fully healthy. You got Ty Montgomery, who is a fully committed running back with wide receiver skill set. You got an added weapon in Martellus Bennett, who we saw in the Super Bowl, so we get to see him again. You've got Randall Cobb, which I'm not 100% sure. I should have looked it up before I started this, but I can't remember if Randall Cobb played in the NFC Championship game. But you got a full full cast of characters for Rodgers to deal with and to play with, and then they've got a supposed revamped defense with Julius Peppers isn't there anymore. He's back with the Carolina Panthers. They've lost Micah Hyde out of their secondary, and just the other day, yesterday I think it was, they released Ladarius Gunther, who Julio Jones just brutalized in the NFC Championship game. So they do have some young corners that may not necessarily have dealt with such an animal as Julio Jones. So that'll be interesting to see if the Falcons can get him going a little bit more than they did last week up in Chicago. So then you also have, as far as their defense, you got Mike Daniels, who wrecked, Seattle's offensive line, which their offensive line isn't very good to begin with. So I don't put a ton of stock into that. But, you saw the game Wes Schweitzer had dealing with Akeem Hicks. If they decide to try to exploit that, I'm curious to see how, Schweitzer's going to rebound. I think he has a chance to, to really rebound nicely from that game, but only time will tell. Keep in mind for the people who are already wanting to bench him in favor of Ben Garland, which I'm not against, but I'm also not champion, because this dude's a second-year player. That was his first start on the road against Akeem Hicks. So just kind of keep all these things in mind before you decide to just absolutely crucify Wes Schweitzer. I think he won that job for a reason. So, I'm willing to give him a chance. I'm willing to, let the, Mack and Schrader, coach him up on the field, and our coaches coach him up on the sidelines. I think he's going to be okay. I think, he may not turn out to be, the greatest guard that ever played the game, but I'm not willing to throw him out with the trash just after one game. So as far as our defense goes, a couple of their offensive linemen are, listed on their injury report. I think Brian Balaga and I can't remember the other guy's name, but I think it was their two tackles. So if they're a little gimpy or banged up from the Seattle game, that may prove to be a boon for us as far as our edge rushers. With Beasley and Tack and Claiborne and Brooks Reed. How about Brooks Reed, right? I mean, who saw that coming in Chicago? But anyway, back to the Packers game. It's going to be a 8:30 kick, prime time, NBC. All eyes are going to be on the Falcons. all eyes are going to be looking for that Super Bowl hangover that we've all been talking about over the summer. Is this the week that it shows up? Oh, they barely skated by, Chicago. Well, a few weeks in, we'll really tell if we skated by Chicago or if, we had a good road win. They seem to have a pretty stingy defense, so I'm leaning towards that we had a good road win. But I'm the forever optimist, as I have been told more times than not. I think this week look to see the for them to get the run game going a little bit better, see them distribute the ball to Julio a little bit more. Also keep in mind this was the first time he had an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator call the game with all of their stars on the field. So, that's a feeling out process as well. So I'm willing to, put week one behind us as more of an anomaly than anything else. More of a just knocking the rust off, getting back in the groove of it. I feel like that's more what week one was. So I really feel like this week, we have a good chance of getting our offense clicking, this time around, with the, especially with the run game. If we can get the run game going, that'll open up the play action passes. That'll open up, a lot in the passing side of the offense. Even if they can, get some of that screen game going with Taylor Gabriel and those quick slants, like real quick slants, when Ryan catches the ball and basically just turns and throws it to Julio Jones and lets him, navigate his way through traffic. If we can get some of those, those plays off, I believe that can do a lot to, spark our offense. So I'm not necessarily ready to hit the panic button yet. Check back in at week 4 or 5. If it's still looking like this, you may see my hair on fire or something, But I'd like to say, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. Week 1 is never a good true indication of what your team is or what any team is. Seattle's offense looked horrible. So when, your offense looks horrible, it can tend to make the defense that you played against look even better and vice versa. So Aaron Rodgers is a different kind of quarterback. He's a different kind of animal. If you're going to go after him, you got to hit him, and you got to put him on the ground. So that's going to be a challenge, and because his escapability, his ability to create plays, his ability to consistently get catch defenses with 12 men on the field. That's going to be an interesting thing with how much we like to rotate. But I feel pretty good with the fact that we have seen them 2 other times in a calendar year. They may not have the exact same personnel, but they do have a lot of the same personnel, and they do have, the same coaching staff. You can't change your identity overnight or in an off season, really. So I look to them to try to do the same kind of stuff Green Bay's always tried to do. We fared pretty well against them the last few times, and I feel like we have a real good chance to come out with a win on this one. So, check back either, Sunday night or Monday with Toby, and he'll let you know what happened and what we saw, and hopefully we'll come away with another W. That's what I got for you today. Rise up.